Coming into the 2014 Formula Drift season, I was using the same S14 platform that I used the year before. Some of the upgrades that we had done in the off-season were installing a G-Force GSR 4-speed dog box, which would allow us to shift much faster. Another one of the upgrades we did was a Winter's quick change rear end, which would allow us to alter our gearing for different courses to keep us in the power band throughout the course. The first round of Formula Drift is at the streets of Long Beach, which is a very technical track. It's definitely one of my favorites on the circuit. It's lined with walls, start to finish, and it separates the boys from the men. Went out for qualifying, laid down the run, ended up qualifying in 9th place. In top 16, I went up against Dennis Mertzanis. On my lead run, I was able to pull a gap on him. I was performing really well, the car was running strong, and on my follow run, I stuck with him through the entire course. I won this battle. The judges awarded me the win, which put me into the top 8. Going into top 8, I was paired against Mike Essa. Knowing that he was the season champ and one of the really high qualifiers, I put a lot of pressure on myself to do well in this run.
Forrest Wang, Michael Essa, reigning 2013 Formula Drift champion.
Tried to stick with him really close. It was almost too much. I got too close too soon. I had nowhere to go. I decided not to make the collision with him, and I hit the wall. I straightened out a little, and he pulled a gap, which gave him the advantage going into the second run.
Unbelievable angle for Forrest Wang.
For my lead run, I knew I was going to have to lay it all on the line to win. I basically went out, I scraped the wall out of turn 9, but it wasn't enough to phase the champ. I tried harder than I should have, because Essa's not really as fast as I thought he was going to be, and I ended up putting myself into the wall.
It takes a good lead run to have a good chase run. And look at that, Michael Essa gets the win. Michael Essa gets the win.
Even though we lost against Mike Essa, we were very happy with the overall outcome of Long Beach. The changes we had made in the off-season made the car much more competitive, and we're looking forward to the rest of the season. After Long Beach, there was a few modifications that had to be done to the car, one of which was installing a new engine with the Brian Crower 3.4-liter stroker kit, which would give us more horsepower and torque. Another was a Wisefab lock kit, allowing me to throw super massive angle drifts that I like to do. Going into qualifying, it poured rain, leaving standing water on the track. I'm very comfortable in these conditions. I went out, laid down a sick run, and landed that #1 qualifying spot. Against Daigo Saito, I laid down a solid lead run. On my chase run, he created a gap coming down the hill after the keyhole, which in the judges' eyes was enough to give him the win. Even though we didn't advance, there's no shame in losing to Daigo Saito. We're very pleased with our performance in getting that #1 qualifying spot. It solidified that we're a force to be reckoned with.
As we fly to Las Vegas in the kickoff laboratory 2JZ S14, here's Forrest Wang!
Coming to Miami, it was a new venue, which basically evens the playing field for all the drivers. Going into qualifying, I had my line dialed in. During my run, I felt I had accomplished what the judges were asking for, placing me in the 5th position. Going against the rookie Jeff Stoneback for top 16, we were confident that we were going to be able to get the win. On my lead run, I laid down a great qualifying line. After being stretched off the line before the first turn, we knew that we needed to get more grip out of the car. We also learned to never underestimate an opponent, no matter what his experience. Coming into round 4 at New Jersey, after crashing hard last year, putting me out of the competition, I knew this would be a hard track for me. For top 16, I was looking forward to going up against one of the toughest competitors in the series, Frederick Osbo. On my chase run, I had great proximity and stuck with him through the entire course.
Osbo slowing down quite a bit. Great composure by Wang. I mean, he salvaged both their cars.
On my lead run, everything was going according to plan until the last turn where I noticed my car was losing a lot of power. I struggled to drift through the last turn, which gave him a slight advantage, and the judges awarded him the win.
Andy Yan likes him, so does Ryan and Brian. It's unanimous. Frederick Osbo, the Norwegian Hammer, advances on to the Great Eight.
Round 5 practice, we made a few changes to the suspension to get more grip. We also changed the gearing in the differential so I wouldn't have to downshift on the last turn. Top 32, I'm paired against Mike Essa again.
Michael Essa will go against Forrest Wang. Get Nuts Laboratory.
We thought that this was going to be our time to get redemption from Long Beach.
Look at this, Forrest Wang absolutely crushing that bank. Nice jump, scrubbing a lot of speed, but now he taps the wall. Michael Essa spins as well. Now were those...
Because I hit the wall and straightened out, it was my fault. He was given time to fix his car.
Yeah, definitely going to want to take a look at this one, slow it down, get some different angles.
Going against Essa, I really wanted redemption.
The reigning champion still wanting some respect from his competitors.
Moving forward, I know that consistency is the name of the game.
There it is. Michael Essa gets the win. It's unanimous.
Coming into Texas, round 6, I did well here last year, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the new setup will do at this track. The car was performing really well, and I was able to place the car on a perfect line on a very consistent basis. Before my second run, we bumped up the tire pressure a little bit, allowing me to get that perfect run in. It gave me a 94-point score and that #1 qualifying spot. In top 16, I faced Conrad Grunwald. One of the things the judges were looking for was big angle between outer zone 1 and outer zone 2.
As look at this, Forrest Wang pulling away, letting it hang out. Conrad Grunwald.
On my chase run, I stuck with him and made no mistakes. After the battle was done, I was awarded the win.
Forrest Wang gets the win.
Going against Odie in the top 4, I knew I was going to have to go hard. He's a very tough competitor and one of the fastest cars on the grid. After 2 really close runs, it was too close to decide and the judges called it one more time. On our second battle, my lead run, I nailed my qualifying line that I had been hitting all day.
Forrest Wang with a wide swing as Odie closes the door. Look at this, Odie boxes wheel to wheel.
On my chase run, he was much faster than I had expected, and the momentum I carried into the last turn made me wash wide.
All right, Odie Bakshish says Andy, Brian, and Ryan say. Odie Bakshish gets the win.
Round 6 at Texas was my first podium of the season.
Third place, Forrest Wang! Congratulations, Forrest. There you go, buddy.
This event proved that consistency was the name of the game. I ran my qualifying line throughout the entire event, and it allowed me to get my first podium of the season.
Somebody who was making a lot of noise yesterday and definitely impressing not only the judges but the fans is Forrest Wang, car number 808, the 2JZ powered S14.
Going into qualifying, the judges were looking for a high bank line, followed by a big transition into the first inner clip, leading into the second outer zone, ride the wall.
Look at Forrest Wang, crazy degree of angle. Can he salvage it? He does.
All of which I did very well, awarding me my 3rd first place qualifying spot of the season.
Forrest Wang with a 90. Our #1 qualifier is Forrest Wang.
For top 16, I faced Mike Essa for the 3rd time this season. I'm not going to make the same mistakes that I made earlier in the season. I'm going to stick to my qualifying line and let the judges decide the outcome.
Forrest Wang, nice
Nice heavy angle there. Essa down quite a bit.
I hit all the zones and clipping points as I was supposed to. My crew chief radioed in and told me that he had made a mistake and washed wide on the first inner clipping point. At this point, I could almost taste the redemption, but I had to stay focused.
A spectacular showing by both these gentlemen.
On my chase run against Mike, coming off the outer bank to the inner clip, I noticed that he washed wide. I ended up tucking in on this point and remaining within close proximity for the rest of the course.
And Forrest Wang now applying the pressure around that final clip into the rear clipping zone. Essa and Wang.
After the battle was over, the judges awarded me the win, advancing me to the top 8.
Forrest Wang gets the win.
Going into the top 8, I was facing Conrad Grunwald again. I knew this was going to be a heated battle. I was going to stay focused and stick to my qualifying run and throw it down.
As you can see, Forrest Wang initiates in the bank. Conrad Grunwald is right there, just a little bit less angle. Watch Forrest Wang right here on this inside clip. Perfect. You can see Conrad Grunwald was about 3 feet off. You can see Forrest Wang.
On my chase run against Conrad, I stuck with him through the entire course.
Conrad a lot more comfortable out front, but Forrest Wang closes that gap.
After the battle, the judges made the unanimous decision of giving me the win, advancing me to the top 4. Going into the top 4 battle against Daigo Saito, I knew this wasn't going to be an easy battle. He's considered to be the fastest driver on the FD circuit. On my lead run against Daigo, I stuck to my qualifying line. After the battle was over, my crew chief radioed in, told me that he had a few corrections, but that I would need to stay close to try to advance on this battle. On my chase run against Daigo, we even dropped the tire pressure a little to see if we could get more grip out of the car. I tried to stick with him the best I could, but by the time we were coming off of the bank, he was gone. I mean, he gained 3 or 4 car lengths on me, and there was no way I was able to come back from that gap. After the runs were over, the judges awarded him the win, and he eventually went on to win the event.
It's unanimous. Saito is going to the finals.
Looking back on the overall season, we've learned that consistency has paid off. Moving forward, I will discipline myself on doing so, which will allow me to be a championship contender for the upcoming season.
Now Get Nuts Laboratory STR S14 grabbing 3rd place. Make some noise for Forrest Wang.